Meaning, as I already discussed with you, import and export. The most important thing, import and export of merchandise from one to the from and to the other countries. From and to the other countries. Import as well as export. Import means what? Export means what? Import. Whenever the term comes, import means import. Transactions comes inside, comes from the other places. We are buying from the other places. This is known as import, coming from the other places. Import. Buying from the other places for fulfilling all the requirements of that country, of that place. That is what buying. Buying from another country. Here we have to always use the term country. We have to use the term nation. Don't use the term only place. It's because place may be within the nation. Place may be within the state. Place may be within that area only. So that's why we cannot use the word for international trade or foreign trade. We cannot use the word only the place. We have to give stress on the word country or the nation. So what is import? Buying the goods for the home consumption from the other country, from the other nations, which is not produced in our country, but there is a requirements of that good in our country. Okay, so that is known as import. Same way, the another word is what? Export. Export. So what is export? When you sell goods from our nation to the another nation, from our country to the another country for the benefit. So export means selling of goods. Selling of goods. Again, from one nation to the another nation. From one country to the other country. Other country. In short, this is known as import and export of goods. So, foreign trade is nothing but the import and export of goods and services from one country to the another country. This is one definition. This is one meaning, I can say, for the foreign trade. Secondly, exchange of goods and services between purchaser and seller. There are always two parties in case of the trade. Any trade. It may be foreign trade, it may be home trade, it may be national trade, it may be international trade. For all this purpose, there are always two parties. One is the seller, another is the purchaser. Who purchased the goods and who sold the goods. That is also comes under the terms, meaning if we combine these two terms, then we will get the meaning very easily. Two parties are there, exposed to new market and products. Now, foreign trade leads where it leads to. So it leads to always for the market, exploring the new market, expansion of the new market and the product. Through the foreign trade, what we can do, we can explore the new product. We can explore the new market. And thereby, we will get more and more products, more and more market. We can involve ourselves. We can fulfill our all demands by that way. Not only we can fulfill our demand, what we can do? We can develop the economy. Because the country, those who produces commodities, merchandise more than their requirements, what happened? The extra commodities, whatever they produce, they can sell it to the outside in spite of keeping it in the home. stop. So it will be damaged in that case. There is no use of. They will not get any money out of it. So in that case, what they can do, whatever the extra commodities, whatever the extra goods, all those goods, they can sold it to the outside market. And by selling all those in the outside market, they can earn the foreign currency, which has a much more value than the Indian currency. If I take an example of the Indian currency or the India, then definitely the currency of the US, the currency of the Australia is more than the Indian market. So if we sell the same product in India, whatever the money we will receive, definitely if we sold it in the US market, our price will be more. So in that case, what happened? That money will flow to our Indian government. It will flow to our Indian economy. So it will develop the economy of our country. So in that case, in case of the foreign trade, so what we will get? First of all, you have to remember it's an import export policy. There are two parties here. One is purchaser, another is seller. And thirdly, we will get a new market for this international trade. Not only new market, the new products also which has not been produced in the same country, we can bring it from the other country. Same way we can send our commodities, our goods to the another country. So this is the process of the foreign trade, international trade, global trade. Fine. So now the definition of foreign trade, what it is, the foreign trade or international trade, whatever it is, global trade, it is an interchange of goods from one place to the another. So we know what is interchange. So it's a goods from one place to another, coming and going. One is receiving and one is giving. So we can bring from outside, we can send the goods to the outside. So this is export and import policy, goods and services between international borders and regions with the variety of export and import. So different type of commodities we can exchange. So what are the points we have to stress over here? What are the points we get for the foreign trade? So we got it is nothing but an exchange of goods and services. So first of all, we got exchange of goods and services. So, point wise, you try to remember foreign trade is an exchange of goods and services. Number two, it is a process of export and import. So, the second point which we have to remember is what? Export and import. So, the second terms we have to remember is export and import, exchange of goods and services. And number three, variety of goods. It is an exchange of not only one goods, there may be a variety of goods and as well as services. Services. We can use the word merchandise also. So this is a common word nowadays. We can use the word merchandise. That is the commodity. Commodity. Now, if we say goods, okay, we can exchange the goods very easily from one place to another place. Goods is a physical things, physical which has a physical shape. That is known as the goods. So whatever it is, when it has a some shape which we can put it in a carton and we can carry it from one place to another place. That is goods. So what about the services? So nowadays, importing and exporting of services is also possible. So what type of services? If I say the term services, it includes banking service, transportation service, automobile service, electrical service. So these are the services also which we can provide, which we can exchange between two places. Now, banking service. Whatever the banking transactions takes place in a country, that type of services, that banking transactions nowadays we can do internationally, globally. By sitting here, by sitting in India, we can transact the banking transactions we can do in US. We can do it in Africa. We can do it in China. So that is the banking service. Same way, transportation, communication, services. The transportation is also providing services. But in each and every step, we need some legal requirements. So in case of foreign trade, the legal requirement is very necessary. It runs under certain policies. There are certain export import policies which we have to follow for foreign trade. So it is not a very easy task to do, but economic development, it is very easy to earn money through the foreign trade. If a country really wants development for economic growth, then definitely they have to follow the rules and regulations given by the export and import policy, and as well as they have to do the proper foreign trade, proper trading between two countries. So this is all about the definition of the foreign trade. Now, see, look at the picture over here. What are the things we require for the foreign trade, for the import and export policy? First and foremost things which we need is the transportation policy. We can use different type of transportation. After the legal requirements, the second step is the transportation. First of all, for foreign trade, we need any type of legal requirements. Legal requirements. This is the first one. Under this, we have to documentation. We have to do certain documentations. We have to submit certain documents, which we will discuss later on. The first of all, you have to know what are the requirements. Legal requirements is the first thing. Secondly, what we need, the transportation. Transportation. Transportation is the second requirement. So this transportation fast facilities nowadays, it's globally very easy. Anything, any goods can be carried from one place to the another place through different means of transportation. So what are the different means of transportation? We can use ship, that is the sea transport, water transport. We can use road, so any type of vehicle we can use, mostly the cargoes are there, which we use. The containers are there, big containers are there. With the containers which carries the large quantity of product, big quantity of product, big amount of things in the bulk quantity. So the roadway also, wherever it is possible, we can use the roadway. Same way we can use for delicate products, we can use the airways. And for fastest delivery, very fast delivery, we can use the airways. So there are mainly three type of transport is there. One, we can say that for transportation, which is very easily available, is waterways. Waterways, which is a very cheapest mode of transportation, cheapest we can say, because the price of the waterways, the ship is always very low if you compare with the roadways and the airways. And apart from that, it has another advantage. We can carry very big, huge, large product also through these waterways, which is not possible maybe railways or roadways. Okay, so it is connected with country to country. Mostly the waterways are always used in case of the import and export, as because most of the countries are connected by the waterways. Okay, from India to Africa, if you want to take some commodities, want to export some commodities, definitely if we use the cheapest means as well as the best way is the waterways. Okay, so this is waterways, but the disadvantage of waterways is that it takes a very long period of time. Time is too much in case of the waterways. Next, another means of transportation is the roadways. Roadways. In case of the foreign trade, those countries which are connected with the road only for it's very limited. We cannot use for each and every country. So those countries which are interlinked with the roadways, that is maybe the car, maybe the rail. The roadways may be again divided into two parts. So whichever is possible, whichever is convenient, we can use the roadway for all those countries which are connected. And another number C, we can say it is the airways. Airways also we can use, but it is very, very limited and very high price transportation. Okay, so in case of very delicate commodities like gold, silver, jewelries, and all those things which has a very expensive items and very light in weight, all those commodities only we can export or import through the airways. These are the means of transportation. So if we can cut down the cost of the exportation, definitely our benefit will be more. So that is why in case of the foreign trade, mostly the waterways are preferred. So these will come later on after all, but as a whole, these are the transportation of foreign trade. What are the means we can use for export and import of the commodities? Okay. Next, foreign trade. What are the characteristics? Why it is important to earn the money? The entire globe, in case of the foreign trade, comes under the hand, two hands, inside the two hands. How it comes? The entire commodity. By sitting at the hometown, by sitting at the home country, you will get from the other country through the money only. You can earn money, you can spend money, both the things you can do. Once you spend the money for the import the commodities, the same way you can export the commodities, you can sell the commodities to the outside countries also. The entire nation's product, all the globally whatever the products are there, that comes under our hand. Thereby we can consume all the commodities which we do not get in the country, which we do not get in our place. For example, India is for producing the petroleum, coffee, tea, etc. Same way, India is not at all good in producing automobiles, electronic commodities, goods, and all. So, this type of goods, if India wants electronic goods, automobiles, they have to depend on some other countries. Otherwise, the development in the field of the electronic, a development in the field of the automobile is not possible if we do not get the goods from the outside. So, in this case, what are the commodities we have produced? Whatever I have given you the example, petroleum, coffee, tea, these commodities we can't export to the outside countries, which has a very high demand. Same way, the commodities which we do not have for our development, technological development, those commodities we can buy from outside, from US. US is very good in producing the automobiles, the electronic products. So those goods we can import from US and we can develop our technology. Same way they can consume the things from us. Like China. So many products nowadays, the India is consumed from the China. Why? Because China is technologically very much advanced country. They are producing different type of technological products. All those products worldwide, they are just exporting, and thereby not only China, the entire world is nowadays they are consuming their commodities, they are enjoying their commodities, they can improve their lifestyle. Understood? So that way we can do the foreign trade. We can get all the commodities through the foreign trade within our hand. That means within the nation. Fine. And thereby we can earn lot of money. We can earn. But there is a thing which we have to keep it in mind, that it is not in the home currency. Whenever the term foreign trade comes, the different currencies has to come to our country. Though, so there is a advantage also as well as disadvantage also. We can earn money, but in the form of different currencies. So that shall have to be converted to the Indian money, Indian rupee. So this way we can just get the things within our hand. Globally, it is possible.